James Gunn. Movie news! Let's talk about movie news. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans. You got that, YouTube? It's a live news show for movie fans. We talk about all the trending movie news headlines, including Avatar 2. Well, yeah, that's the big talking point of the week for sure. And the state of the DCU, Pirates of the Caribbean reboot. Is it going to be a reboot? What's going on with that? Deadpool 3 is going to have some time travel in there. We're going to do some hit or miss headlines, but we talk about a lot of stuff here. And we might as well start off with James Gunn and his comments regarding the DCU. Some backlash that came out. Well, because, you know, he got rid of our favorite Superman. But James Gunn confronts uproarious DC backlash. Disrespectful outcry will never affect our actions. Yeah, there was that hashtag last week that we saw that was trending, that was Fire James Gunn. And then some people say that he's got no boss, he doesn't answer to anybody. Don't pay attention to those people. Yes, he answers to somebody. He's got a boss. Yes, he does. So anybody who says he doesn't answer to anybody, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, so let's move on. He's got a boss, but he's basically running the show over there. And some interesting developments have come out. Yeah, he says we don't respond to bullies and uproarious kind of thing, but we are aware there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig, and we knew we would sometimes have to make difficult and not so obvious choices, especially in the wake of the fractious nature of what came before us. Fractious? Okay, so basically people were just calling for him to be fired and stuff like that. So yeah, he issued this big long statement saying that one of the things Peter and I are aware of, okay, we saw that no one loves to be harassed or called names, but to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. Disrespectful outcry will never ever affect our actions. Yeah, so like there was even a petition or something on change.org to fire James Gunn. No, that's not going to happen, guys. The only way that anything would ever have any impact on what was going forward in the DCU is that you simply just don't go out and watch the new Superman movie. Just don't watch the trailers, don't talk about it. But that's not us. That's not what we do. We're movie fans, right? So we're going to check it out regardless. Even if it does not live up to our expectations, if it does suck, perhaps, what do you do then? And we'll talk about the state of the DCU as we go through some of this stuff. Because what happens if Aquaman 2 comes out and it makes $1 billion? You know, it's not out of the question. What happens then, James? What happens then? Your plan to squash the Snyderverse, well, it throws it into peril. What happens then? You just walk away from a $1 billion franchise? I don't think so. Anyway, that's just what ifs, and let's not get into that. But yeah, disrespectful outcry will never, ever have an effect on our actions. So they got this plan that's going to come out hopefully in the new year here, that'll come out and say, okay, this is the direction that they're going to build towards a new Justice League movie. And we'll all have to be on board with it, guys. We all have to be on board with it, or you just, you know, do what I said, is don't go watch it. Don't talk about it. But it's kind of hard to not do that when we're movie fans here, right? For sure. Okay. Continuing on with the state of the DCU and James Gunn. The movie news, Derby and 501 says in the live chat, hey man, how's it going? So where does that leave us with the recasting, right? James Gunn responds to rumors of major DCU overhaul. We're not recasting everyone. What? Okay, well, we know that Cavill's not coming back, and we're pretty sure that Ben Affleck's not coming back. We know Ray Fisher's not coming back. We pretty much assumed that Gal Gadot's not going to be there, but we'll see what James Gunn said about that. And as I said, Aquaman 2 comes out next year, guys. So what if that makes $1 billion? Is Jason Momoa done as Aquaman? Are you going to walk away from that? And then the Flash movie, I'm pretty sure that Ezra Miller, regardless, even if Flash does make $1 billion, Ezra Miller is not going to come back as the Flash. So pretty much, yeah, 5 out of the 6 people, except for Aquaman and maybe Gal Gadot, Let's take a look at some of the quotes here from James Gunn. He says about this. If it's true, but recasting all the main DCU characters, but keeping some, will be interesting. How Peacemaker and Suicide Squad characters live on, but the others don't, particularly when they all have interacted with each other. So James Gunn said, I keep seeing posts with this untrue theory. We're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. What? That's a weird quote, hey? I keep seeing posts that this is about this untrue theory. We're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. Okay. So what he's trying to say there is that they're going to recast everyone. Everybody's out there saying that they're going to recast everyone but the Suicide Squad, because the Suicide Squad is James Gunn's baby, and of course it's James Gunn. He's going to hold on to it. No, he's saying that perhaps the way that it's worded there, it sounds weird, that he wants to save the Suicide Squad. But from this quote and the way that I'm diagnosing this is that he's saying, yeah, even the Suicide Squad will be subject to being rebooted, and it should be, because it just kind of leaves that question open again, that you don't want fans trying to confuse the timelines here. They got to make that distinction, which is why most people out there are on the side of the case that you need a complete reboot, because you don't want people to be confused. I still think people can understand the difference between the Snyderverse and going forward. I think people could make that distinction, but people would still be calling, we need Man of Steel 2. We need Man of Steel 2. No, you wouldn't get that. But anyway, that's in the past now. That's not happening. So, yeah. So from that, you kind of get the impression that perhaps even the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are on the table to get chopped, even though they say they're going to have a Peacemaker too. And what's going to happen with Shazam? I don't think Shazam, Fury of the Gods, is going to make $1 billion. I think that one is probably going to be set up for failure. I hear that as much as I like Helen Mirren, it's kind of like people are not really into seeing them as the villains. I don't know. And now that what's going to happen with Black Adam, all of those storylines are just going to get washed away, and they're going to start with a fresh slate. So it's kind of like, do I need to see Shazam? Do I need to see Aquaman or Blue Beetle or Flash? Do I need to see those movies anymore? The casual fans don't know about all this stuff, so we'll have to see how they fare. Derpy501 says, I have more trust in James Gunn than I ever did in Snyder. Well, yeah, I just wish Gunn had the opportunity to play with these characters to see what he could have done with them. That's what I would have preferred. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Talking about the DCU characters there, Ray Fisher. James Gunn clears up deleted tweet confusion with Ray Fisher. Yeah, apparently Ray Fisher was trying to call him out for deleting tweets or something. I was kind of like, what? Why? So let's take a look at what happened there. Ray Fisher. The way James Gunn uses fake grace on Twitter is usually funny. It's really funny. I'm going to bat for him going to bat for Joss Whedon, pseudo apologizing for it, then deleting it immediately before taking the new DC job is not. Refusing to apologize for toxic behavior seems to be a job requirement at WB. So Ray Fisher is just one of those people that are, well, frustrated with the whole situation, because there was supposed to be a Cyborg movie. That's not happening, and it's definitely not happening with Ray Fisher. We've seen the last of Ray Fisher in the DCU. And will James Gunn bring back? No. The actor is just too entrenched in this kind of negative feelings towards the organization. It just won't work, right? What do you call that? When you're disenchanted with your worker, with the company you work for? But James Gunn goes on to say this. All my tweets automatically delete after a few months. Ray, it has nothing to do with my tweets to you. So there you go, in response to him. I wish I could delete my tweets after a few months. In fact, I will be slowly, I announced on my social medias, I'm going to be slowly moving away from Twitter. I am. I'm not going to get into this shouting match in between Ray Fisher and James Gunn. That's not really that. We know about the abusive behavior of Joss Whedon. We know about that. As movie fans, we know about that stuff. That's why I'm not a big champion of Joss Whedon anymore. And I don't suspect he'll ever work again on a big project ever again in Hollywood. Talking about some of the recasting stuff last week. What was it we were doing? We were talking about something, and the name Jacob Elordi came up as a possible new Superman. He was in something. He was going to be in a new movie or something coming out. And I guess DC fans out there caught on to some of the same inklings, because we're on the hunt now for who's going to be the new cast of the new movies going forward. Jacob Elordi's name came up. I think I saw him for something last week. Yeah, he was going to be in some upcoming project. What was it? That we were talking about, and I looked at him because I'm now that we know that they had to reboot the entire thing. I was looking at him. It's like his jawline sort of looks like he could be a Clark Kent, because we know that it has to. Guys, anything over 30, just take off the table. They don't want to go that. So any actor over 30 for Superman, don't go with that. Maybe with Batman, you can get away with a 30-year-old person like Nicholas Hoult. Like I heard that talk yesterday, but this Jacob Elordi, we looked at his work. It was for something upcoming, right? Priscilla. Oh, yeah. He plays Elvis in that Priscilla movie that's coming out next year. He plays Elvis. And we looked at his jawline here. Could he possibly play a Clark Kent? It's possible. But the only other work that I went and saw of his, this is like those Trump NFT things. It's like terrible work. I looked at what was it, the Kissing Booth movies on Netflix, and I don't know if it was just the movie's director, but like the Kissing Booth, the acting in it was terrible. Yeah, he'd have to beef up a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think he's got the profile for it. Maybe there's something like his nose is a little bit off, but I don't know. Who knows? Could that be your Superman? It's possible. It's kind of like I'm looking, always hunting now in every project that's got these young actors. I'm looking for the possibility of who's going to take over, because that's the talk, right? We got to figure out what's going on here. Is Wonder Woman out? James Gunn denies that he booted Gal Gadot from the Wonder Woman role. Wasn't booted from her Wonder Woman role that has been rumored. So maybe does that fuel the speculation that she's going to be back? I would love it, because it's just so hard. She's just so. You look at her and it's just like Henry Cavill. You look at those two and it's like she is Wonder Woman, he is Batman, right? He is Superman. Sorry, Batman. It's hard to imagine anybody else as Gal Gadot right now, or as Wonder Woman. So anyway, he's denying this rumor. Let's see what he said down here. Cannot wait to see what you're cooking up, the fan wrote. That being said, the move to boot Cavill and Gadot, especially after they announced their return, doesn't inspire confidence. I'm not sure where you're getting that we booted Gal. Gunn shot back. Well, because you said that you didn't want to make Wonder Woman 3. That's where people are. See, that's kind of like the weird flux that we're in this right now. I never walked away. I'm open to considering anything asked of me, Jenkins said. Yeah, we know about that. So he's saying that he never booted Gal Gadot. Would it work with a 20-year-old Superman and Gal Gadot? I don't know. I think you kind of have to find a younger actress to play her. It just kind of sucks because she was so awesome in that role. Even in 1984. I know people didn't like 1984. That was script issues. That script should never have been greenlit in the first place. But I still think, I hope somewhere along the lines, if they ever do like a multiverse, they bring her back to give us some closure, because that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Moving on with the possible DCU here. One final story that before we move on to that Margot Robbie one here is, before James Gunn took the gig there, WB reportedly begged Joker director Todd Phillips to be the leader of DC. So that's interesting. That's very interesting, because Todd Phillips did the Joker movie that made $1 billion. And there were rumors out there that his name was being floated around, but begged for him? Because it was a big thing, and he would have had been facing the same kind of backlash now that that Gunn and Safran are facing. That they had to put together a plan to drive the DCU forward, and Joker is not going to be connected to that, but he would have to bring in Batman and Superman and have that kind of backlash to the fans. That because I'm pretty sure. Now more than ever, it does make sense to me that it was David Zaslav that said, guys, we got to reboot. Whoever comes in, this is your mandate. You got to reboot the DC. We're wiping the slate clean. That was their mandate, I'm pretty sure. And everybody thinks that it's James Gunn's decision. But I'm pretty sure that before he was hired, that's what their understanding was coming on to the project, that you were going to have to reboot this all. That's the way I feel about it, just reading the tea leaves. And they would have asked that of Todd Phillips too. Like Zaslav would have asked that of Todd Phillips. Okay, take this gig, but please, taking it, you're going to make fans angry by not using Superman or not using Henry Cavill. But yeah, the whole town turned down the job, an industry source said. It was almost Todd Phillips. They begged him. But you know what, Todd Phillips, I'm glad that he didn't take it, because he has to come back for Joker 2, but at least it's him and Joaquin Phoenix working on it again. But I want to see other projects from Todd Phillips, and I feel like he didn't want to get bogged down with the weight and responsibility of mapping out, like being tied to the DC for 10 years, right? He didn't want that responsibility. So that's just a headline out there that we can keep in mind. Derpy501 says in the live chat, just give me 3 actors. Sadie Sink as Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. David Mazouz as Dick Grayson, Robin, and Natalia Dyer as Lois Lane. Natalia Dyer. Because she already plays a reporter in Stranger Things. I don't know. Natalia Dyer, I like her as an actress. But it really depends on how or who they get as Bruce Wayne, right? Or as Batman. Oh, sorry, Superman. What am I? Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. I'm trying to pull up Natalia Dyer. I like her acting. I do. I liked her in Velvet Buzzsaw. Aside from Stranger Things. That's the only other thing that I've seen her in. I didn't watch that coming of age story where she goes to like a Bible camp or something like that. She's 27. Yeah, she could fit a Lois Lane. I think she could. I do like her. And I want to see more from her. And I want to see her get other projects. The only other thing that people... yeah, I remember that story of her being compared to Timothée Chalamet. She's the female Timothée Chalamet. Yeah, but I like her. The only thing other than is that she's kind of a twig. But yeah, James, you shouldn't. Oh, James, you just body shame somebody. What are you doing, James? Anyway, yeah, it is what it is. What else did you say there in the live chat? That's the Superman design I want from Max Fleischer cartoon for DCU. Naomi Scott as Diana Prince Wonder Woman. She's 27. Naomi Scott, that's an interesting call. I like her. I like Naomi Scott. Let's take a look at her. I do. I like her a lot as a Wonder Woman. Yeah, she could be a Wonder Woman. She's definitely got the grace for it. You look at her and she's got the same kind of charisma that that gal has. And that's what you need, right? So maybe, yeah, that's a good call. I like that. Naomi Scott is the new Wonder Woman. I'd be totally on board for that. 100%. How tall is she? How tall? Oh. How tall is she? Not that it matters too much. 1.63 meters. She's 29 years old, so yeah, she could be. I like her a lot, too. Yeah. That's a good call. All right, let's move on to one final story in the DC stuff, guys. It's Margot Robbie as Harley. Because if the Suicide Squad gets recast as well, which I don't think it will because they're talking about Peacemaker 2, right? And I don't know. You just saw that James Gunn pulled so much magic out of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Is her run as Harley Quinn done now too? I don't know. I hope not. I hope that somewhat of the Suicide Squad gets saved. But then if she exists, then that means Jared Leto's Joker still exists, and it's just kind of time to move on. We know we're going to get another Harley Quinn though in Lady Gaga in the Joker 2 movie. And then Margot Robbie just shared her thoughts on that. She just says best of luck. She said, I think she's going to do an amazing job. I'm so excited. It's all I could have hoped for Harley, that she would become one of those characters, kind of like Batman or Hamlet, that gets handed from actor to actor. Everyone gets to go at playing them. So I think it's just credit to her as a character that people want to see her in multiple iterations. I'm excited as Harley. Yeah. Yeah. So she's wishing Lady Gaga all the best for Joker 2, because we're going to see Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn in that. I can't wait to see that too. I can't wait. I think that's just going to be an amazing thing. Yeah. It's just kind of like you want to see different versions of these characters. Like we want to see different, we got different Batmans and people accept that, so that's fine. She gives us a thumbs up. All right. Let me just turn off my phone here because I forgot to do that. And we'll talk about what else you can find here on Mirror Domains. Let's take a quick break before we talk about Avatar 2. What else can you find here, guys? We do a live movie news show here at 11 a.m. Monday to Friday where you can join us live, and there are all my social media handles. Sometimes I post stories there that on the TikTok and Instagram you can see behind the scenes stuff. What else? Well, guys, we do full series reactions for things like The Peripheral. We finished that up yesterday. All 8 episodes are up on a playlist for you guys to check out. We do Wednesday, Andor, Mandalorian, all kinds of series that we follow here on the channel. We do full movie reactions for things like Moonfall. Oh, that was a disaster of a movie. Not very good. Later on today, we'll be watching Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone. 1 p.m., guys. 1 p.m. today, we'll be watching Samaritan. Tomorrow, we're going to be watching Where the Crawdads Sing. 1 p.m. as well. And on Thursday, we'll be watching Meet Cute, a Kaylee Cuoco rom-com. For sure. We'll be talking about that. Yeah. And then on Friday, we'll be watching Knives Out 2. But on the weekends, we do Horror Weekly Roundup, talk about all the horror movie news headlines of the week. And then, of course, we do movie news live during the week. And up on the channel right now is a spoiler review for Avatar 2. Avatar, The Way of Water, movie review, guys. Full spoilers. I talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie. And go check that out if you've gone out to see it. Because I'm about to tear off some people's prognostications about this movie. Saying that it's a great movie, and people just want to reserve and say that they don't want to go and see it yet. But it's kind of like when I went to see Avatar, guys, my theater was not full. People are saying that it's hard to find a ticket to Avatar. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what in blazes you're talking about. Many empty seats in my theaters for Avatar. That's including the IMAX, and I'll demonstrate that here in a few moments. Avatar 2 needs to become a box office juggernaut. Is $2 billion within reach? Well, it's going to make $1 billion easily. It's going to easily trot over that $1 billion mark. But is it going to make $2 billion? No, it's not. Because people are coming out talking about the story issues. You know, is it really that deep? Oh, God, James. Yeah, I know I'm bad. It's terrible. But, yeah, it says it all depends on the second week. Well, the first Avatar didn't open up that much, so we can expect that it climbs. It's going to have its haul here. We talked about this on the weekend's box office report yesterday, that Avatar is going to have its full run at the theater for the next month or so, guys. Avatar, The Way of Water there, 134 million. As of today, I think it crossed 150 as of today. And that's Tuesday already. It's going to make us money. But guys, this is a different box office era. Things for Avatar is not going to go up with opening in that many theaters. The box office numbers, like on the domestic take, are not going to go up. It's going to slowly go down. And it's going to have a lot of legs. I understand that. I get that. But people saying that, ooh, they're waiting until after the Christmas break. Well, then you don't really want to see it. And you don't seem to understand that people who are saying that they're going to see it after are not contributing to what studios respond to. And that's the opening weekend's take. And that's what this era and this time of box office people look at, the execs look at. So, guys, Avatar 2 is going to make a lot of money. It's going to make its money back, and it's going to make profit. It's not going to be a $2 billion film. It's not. It's just not on course for that. And people say, well, it's because people are waiting. People don't want to see it opening weekend. Well, what the heck? People don't want to see a movie because they want to wait till they can go see it in IMAX. Like, I heard arguments like that yesterday. And I'm like, what the heck are you guys talking about? You're supposed to be pundits and stuff and talking about movie news stuff. And you're saying that movie fans are not going to go out and see the movie because they were waiting for it in IMAX. What kind of ridiculous nonsense talk is that? Don't get me triggered. I'm starting to get a little bit heated here, guys. All right, let's move. Let's just go to a bigger cinema there in the Toronto area. Let's take a look at what's going on here and see if we can find tickets today. That's okay. Well, he got one sold out there. I mean, that's in a VIP theater. Okay, so VIP here in Canada is on the higher end. That's like full recliners, guys. You're not sitting right beside anybody. You got like a nice little shelf beside you that's in leather that you can put like your cups and stuff in. You got a meal tray. A meal tray comes out of the seat and you can sit down. That's VIP here. A full meal tray that you can sit down with fork and knife and you can eat. And the seat reclines and you got like a footrest that comes up. That's VIP. So, yeah, whoops. That's on the higher end, so I could see that one. I could see seatings like that maybe getting sold. And that's in Toronto. This is in Toronto, guys. So let's go to see if we can find the IMAX here. Oh, no, I have to go to Rathburn to the IMAX. But you can see here a D-box, regular, and that's regular, right? Okay, so here's the high frame rate ones. Seat preview in 3D, in Ultra VX. Let's take a look at some of the seat previews. Let's see if this so-called can't get a seat BS. No. And this is for today, guys. Can't get a seat. What are you talking about? You got lots of good choice here. The gray here is all that's taken. There's lots of good seating, guys. So the people that are saying that, oh, it's hard to get a seat. No, it's not. It's not. So you're talking smack. You're talking bogus. You're trying to ham up to your audience, and I don't dig that. I don't respect that. I don't. Not whatsoever. So let me just go here. Let me just go to the actual official IMAX theater. Whoops. Did I spell that right? Let's go to Mississauga. There we go. And this has like the official IMAX. Let's go to see their screenings here. You know how I have like a pseudo IMAX. It's not really the IMAX. Okay, so yeah, that one's kind of sold out, but you still got seating in there in the front row, right? And that's for today. That's for today. Let's just move it forward a day and see what happens there. Or actually, no, let's move it to Friday and see what happens. I want to go to Friday. Of course, you're not up there, but you know what I mean, guys. Seats are there. They're there. People saying that, oh, they can't get a seat for Avatar. No, yes, you can. If you're responsible with it, right? She's 27. Derpy says, look up the Superman design from Max Fleischer cartoon real quick. You'll see what I mean. I want for this DCU. Okay. I will just after this Avatar thing. Avatar. Just to wrap up the Avatar headline here. Stephen Lang, Quaritch. I call him Quattridge. Quaritch 2.0. Yeah, he just had this big interview up on Hollywood Reporter. That's actually worth reading. I liked him as the villain in this one, and I like how they explained how he came back. Of course, the person of this story seemed to be a fan of Tombstone, because he played Ike. He played Ike in Tombstone. You know, the guy that's had the gun to his head and said, no, he ain't bluffing. Right? That guy. Law don't go around here. Right? That guy. He was that guy. It's hard to believe, but he asked him those questions, and it was kind of a very interesting read up there, this interview. So I recommend, if you liked Avatar, go check out and read this interview. I liked how they talked about one moment in the film. It's not really spoilerish because we've seen it in the teasers, but they go and he finds a skull, and it's actually his skull from the previous movie, his human skull, and he squishes it. All right. And he talked to Cameron about that and how it was like very important to him that he has like that kind of connection to the character and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, very insightful. I appreciated it quite a bit because Stephen Lang is a good actor. We like him here because he's also in horror movies like Don't Breathe and stuff like that. Very good actor. Go check that out and let me know your thoughts. Okay, let's move on here. Let's check out this Superman design you said here. Max Fleischer Superman. Let's take a look here. This is what you want to see on the big screen there, Derpy? This kind of a thing? With the black S? It's possible. Yeah, they can go with the black S. Like that was the retro. Yeah, they did that in Superman and Lois. I remember that. It was in the opening pilot for that series with Tyler Hoechlin. I could see that. Actually, I liked Superman and Lois, but they made the dreaded mistake of having too long of a break. Like for the first season, they stopped after like the first month or something, and then they paused for like 2 months to shoot more of the season, and I just lost track of it, and I just couldn't get back on board with it. It just kept on taking too many breaks, and that happens a lot with cable TV shows for me. Is like they take a break, and it's like, why are you taking a break? If you filmed all of it, just give it to us all. But it's because of sponsorship deals and stuff like that. They got to take breaks and stuff. But anyway, yeah, cool design. Is that what you were talking about? Yeah. Chris Schober in live chat says, is Johnny Depp returning for Pirates of the Caribbean 6? Well, we can talk about that right now because that's precisely where we're at. Because Bruckheimer has been out talking about this, and Jerry Bruckheimer is the producer of those Pirates movies. Pirates of the Caribbean to be rebooted with younger cast, says producer. Because the word talks about a female Pirates movie with Margot Robbie that kind of fell flat. I don't know what happened with that. Jerry Bruckheimer, though, was the producer of this. And this is a very bad CG rendering of Johnny Depp. God, they never use that. Is that part of a video game or something? Jerry Bruckheimer says the separate project starring Margot Robbie is still alive. Okay, so that's still alive. Huh. The plan is to first reboot the franchise with a young cast. So does that answer your question? Is Johnny Depp returning for Pirates of the Caribbean 6? Not if it's going to be a reboot, because there's not going to be a Pirates of the Caribbean 6, according to the man with the money, Jerry Bruckheimer. It's going to be rebooted. Okay. Wow. The movie series has been dead in the water since the release of the 5th movie. There's been increased demand for Johnny Depp to come back. I think so. But they, yeah. The problem is that with Pirates movies is that they were 3 hours long, and they got to like each movie had to be 3 hours. Why? It didn't have to be 3 hours. It's just because the other one was 3 hours. You thought that's what was the standard for the movies, and it just got too boring. I think I even fell asleep in the last Pirates movie, if I remember correctly. And I don't fall asleep in movies that often. I fell asleep in the Pirates movie, and I fell asleep in Seth Rogen's Green Hornet movie. Yeah. So a reboot for the Pirates movie, huh? Jerry Bruckheimer says. As Bruckheimer explained when he was asking, a new Pirates movie going is so hard to accomplish. He says, oh God, they're all hard. They're all hard. I think we're getting very close on that one too. We have a very, very good script. We developed 2 of them. The one with Margot Robbie and the one with a younger cast. The Margot Robbie one needs a little more work. The younger cast one is close. Hopefully we'll get both of them. Okay. So that kind of answers your question. Is Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow finished? Yeah. Yeah. So they're still working on the Margot Robbie one. Well, she's going to be huge because despite moving on from the DCU, if she's not going to play Harley Quinn anymore, she's got the Barbie movie that comes out next year, so people will be watching that. Uh, in any case, Bruckheimer says that the franchise won't be killing off Jack Sparrow because he already tried to kill him and it didn't work. Yeah, because people just want to see him. They want to see Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. You'd have to ask them. I can't answer that question. I really don't know. Is that what Johnny said? Yeah. But for now, Pirates of the Caribbean 6 hasn't been greenlit, and time will tell if Jack Sparrow will return to the big screen. There you go. Moving on, Deadpool 3, time travel. What the heck is going on here? What is... Okay, well, we've seen time travel before, so Hugh Jackman confirms Deadpool 3 will involve time travel. It's also going to be a road trip movie between Wolverine and Deadpool, right? So what does that mean, time travel? Okay. Well, we know that this is going to obviously take place aside from the X-Men reboot that Feige is going to have to implement in the MCU, right? Because they're going to have to go with a younger Wolverine for sure. But time travel, let's see what Hugh Jackman said here. Hugh Jackman said this, but all because of this device they have in the Marvel world of moving around timelines. Now we can go back because, it's science. And so I don't have to screw with the Logan timeline, which is important to me, and important to a lot of us, actually. And I think probably to the fans, too. Yeah, exactly. So there'll be some time travel, road trip movie. It's not going to mess up the timelines, the continuity there and stuff. I think most people understand that stuff. The Logan movie will stand on its own for a lot of reasons, right? As closure for a lot of people. Even though I was kind of like... I was a little... I was somebody that wasn't in love with the Logan movie. People said it was like the best thing of all time. I was sold that, and I was expecting the best. It was a solid ending for him, for sure. But anyway, we got him in Deadpool 3. So, yeah. Time travel. And will be a blast from the past. So is that how they're bringing him in? Is he going to go back in time and get Wolverine to do a mission or something? Sounds like it. Deadpool won't arrive until November 2024. Jackman has revealed a massive plot point. Yeah, that is going to have time travel. It's not really that much of a spoiler. We've seen this kind of stuff before. Whatever. November 2024, guys. So it's still more than 2 years away for Deadpool 3. Time travel. Hugh Jackman. I would believe him. Indiana Jones 5. Indiana Jones 5. We got a couple of headlines here from Indiana Jones 5. Indiana Jones 5 will reveal what happened to Shia LaBeouf's Mutt. Yeah, because Mutt, I think they were trying to loosely suggest that Mutt was going to take over for Indy there in Crystal Skull, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Well, he's not going to be in number 5, The Dial of Destiny, which is also talking about time travel. Apparently, Indiana Jones 5 is about time travel. Supposedly, we don't know yet, but let's see what happens here. But from the director, James Mangold, talking about Wolverine. James Mangold did Wolverine and Logan, right? So he's also doing Indiana Jones 5. LaBeouf and his character will not be in Dial of Destiny, and Mangold promises audiences that they will find out what happened to him. But of course, he won't say anything more. So we'll find out what happened to Mutt. He died on the way back to his planet. They'll Poochie the dog him from The Simpsons, right? They'll say that he died on a tragic boat accident or something, and it eats away at Indy. It does, so he doesn't like to talk about it. Imagine if they did something like that. I wouldn't throw it past them. That Mutt died somewhere along the way on a fishing trip somewhere. Imagine that. That would be hilarious. So that's why we're not gonna have Mutt there in the 5th one. And then there was talks about some Indiana Jones TV show or something like that. And then when you read some of the stories about it, that the Disney show Indiana Jones show won't include 2 major characters of the franchise. It won't have Indiana Jones, and it won't have the new actress who's playing this granddaughter. It won't have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Helena. So there you go. The director reveals that Ford's archaeologist won't be involved in the series, but his tweets also makes it clear that neither will Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena, who is Jones's granddaughter in the upcoming film. So then I pose the question is, what would be the goddamn point of making an Indiana Jones show without Indiana Jones? It's just like the executives and people with the money. Do you know what you're doing? Seriously, for crying out loud. You're just setting yourself up for failure then. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's audacious. An Indiana Jones show without Indiana Jones. Ugh. I don't know what you're smoking out there. Chris Schober says, I heard Google that Avatar 3 Cameron is doing a 9-hour cut of Avatar 3. No, I don't. I'm sure there's definitely enough footage for it, but you would get a lot of people walking up beaches for like 20 seconds. They shoot stuff like that. They shoot enough material for a 9-hour cut, but they're not going to release that because you do film stuff like that for possible B-roll cases and stuff like that. You just do that stuff. Okay, where are we at? Are we into hit or miss already? Okay, let's do some hit or miss headlines here. So if it's a hit or a miss, we'll talk about it. All right. The Big Bang Theory's Leonard and Penny almost didn't end up together. This is a TV headline. I was a fan of The Big Bang Theory, even though that I recognized that the writing about it was stupid. But I like the characters, and I like Kaylee Cuoco, and apparently they almost didn't end up together, huh? There was a storyline in the seasons where it was Penny and Raj. I like the direction of that. I like the way that they were going with that, especially because Raj had trouble talking around women, and the first time he talked, like he needed booze to talk to women, and there was a scene where he talked to Penny without being drunk, and that would have been so cool if it paid off. That they just said he was comfortable with her. He finally got comfortable enough with her that he talked to her. And if they took that and ran with it, I think that would have been a really great storyline. But just like Friends, where, Joey and, was it Rachel or something? They had their romance, and then they had to abandon that because the series was coming to an end. Of course, you got to make Leonard and Penny together. Of course you do. Right? It is what it is. I saw the headline. Okay. So at least they toyed with it. They could possibly go in another direction. That's a hit for me. Is this a hit for you? Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power Season 3 renewal teased. Well, they're getting underway for Season 2 right now, and I am somebody who did like the Rings of Power. It's going to be my favorite list of the year for a TV series because I do like Galadriel. I do like Morvenn Clark there as Galadriel. I really like her a lot, and I want to see more from her. And I want to see more of the dwarves, and I want to see what's going to happen next, because it's been revealed that we know who this guy is. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you. We know who that guy is. That's kind of already a spoiler right there, James. Yeah, they teased a Season 3. We know that they bought this for like $1 billion, so they want to make more. And I hear that they're kind of having to maybe possibly do like a soft reboot with Season 2. I like the fact that they were setting up Mordor. They were trying to explain where Mordor came from in Season 1. I like that stuff. And some of the final episodes of Season 1 of Rings of Power I thought were very, very powerful. Great television for sure. Season 3, let's just not get too far ahead of ourselves. It's probably going to happen regardless, just because of the amount of money they dumped into it. That's a hit for me. Breakfast Club, Molly Ringwald and Ali Sheedy reunite in TV comedy image. Cool. Well, if you saw The Breakfast Club, I like that movie. So this TV show is called Single Drunk Female, reuniting the actors on screen for the first time since 1990. Guys, I grew up in the 80s, so I grew up with The Breakfast Club there. And out of the two, I was crushing on Ali Sheedy's character. She was kind of like the outcast. She's actually somebody that you could be friends with and hang out with like on the weekends and stuff, right? Molly Ringwald was like the popular kid, And yeah, that's a young Emilio Estevez. Yeah, I like the Breakfast Club. Cool to see them back together. That's cool. And we just recently saw Molly Ringwald in the Dahmer series that was out on Netflix. She was in that. So it's cool that she's getting work. She's out working again. That's cool. As I always say with artists, it's good to see them working in their craft. I like it. I dig it, man. And it's cool to see those two back together. That's a hit in my books. Yeah, for sure. What's next here? Mark Hamill addresses whether he's changed his mind about The Last Jedi. Yeah, we heard the stories that he was not a fan of Rian Johnson's treatment of Luke Skywalker. He said that a Jedi would not act like this, especially a Master Jedi. He would have enough control to not succumb to, well, what Luke did, right? He approached it with a little bit of humor here. So a fan asked him on the social medias there, "Hi, Mark. Since it's the 5th anniversary of that movie we don't talk about, do you have any anecdotes or memories from making the film you would be willing to share? Have you changed your mind about anything over the past 5 years? Would you have done anything differently? Thank you." Mark Hamill says, "Not really. A little. Yes. You're welcome." So there he says. He acquiesces a little bit there. He says a little. Why is The Last Jedi so controversial? Because it fractured the fan base. We've been there before. When you start to break apart the movie, everybody talks about this throne room scene, seeing that it's the best thing out there. But if you go out there and you watch the corridor crews, like stuntman breakdown of that scene, it's ridiculous. It's actually laughable because things just appear out of nowhere. Arms disappear. It's a really bad scene, actually. And I'm really shocked that Rian Johnson put something that... yeah. Guys, you've seen me tear apart The Last Jedi. It's not my Star Wars. The sequel trilogy is not my Star Wars. I just moved on. So that's what I'll do. I'll move on, just like what Mark Hamill did. One more final story in the hit or miss. And it's kind of big because it's splashed all over everywhere today, guys. It's going to be on all the big trades. Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape in L.A. trial as jury reveals mixed verdict. I don't even like to say that word. I really don't. It's ugly. It's grotesque. It's one of the most vile things that a human can do to another human being. It is. And I'm glad jury convicted Weinstein, but acquitted him on account of battery by restraint. But yeah, this was a big head honcho producer out there that ruined a lot of careers, saying the women that didn't give it up to him, that didn't perform for him in like the casting couch, that he wouldn't cast them, that he would try to ruin their names. And he just used his power for evil. I'm glad that he's convicted. I'm glad that for the rest of his life, he's probably going to have to hopefully serve behind bars. Now, it's not going to be hard time. It's not going to be in a population with a bunch of other people around. But I'm glad that it's going to happen. He's probably going to fake like some kind of medical issue to get out of it or something. But a little bit of justice, because justice matters. And I'm glad to see that somebody's going to get their comeuppance there. All right. The best movies of 2022, guys. People are coming out with their list. It's a little bit early for, I would think. We're still not even to Christmas yet. We still got about 11 days left in this year. But Hollywood Reporter's critics' picks. Let's see if we can agree with some of their picks. Let's see what they got on here. Because we looked at the worst films yesterday from some people. Let's see what they got on the list here. Banshees of Inisherin. I agree with that. That'll be on my top 10. It will, actually. But it won't be number one. They're saying the number one. Decision to Leave. Do I know what the heck that is? I don't even know what the heck that is. All right. Decision to Leave. It's a foreign film. Looks like it's a Korean film. A detective investigating a man's death in the mountains meets the dead man's mysterious wife in the course of his dogged sleuthing. Okay. Tar, I need to see. Kate Blanchett, I need to check out the art house theater here to see if I can get a listing for that, because I do want to see Kate Blanchett in that movie. I hear good things. After Sun, never even heard of it. Bones and All, doof. That's on your best list. That was on the worst list for somebody yesterday, right? Bones and All, I knew it. No. EO, never even heard of. And guys, I'm a movie fan. This is why some critics who have to go out and see all of these movies, they get a little disenchanted by the big blockbusters. I never even heard most of these guys. Armageddon Time, I think I heard about Armageddon Time. That had Anne Hathaway and Anthony Hopkins was in that as well, right? Yeah. Inspection, never heard of it. The Quiet Girl, never heard of it. Joey Frost's top 10, Tar, One Fine Morning, Armageddon Time. And that's kind of thing where, people just kind of get disenchanted by critics, because then they see all these smaller art house films, but then they go out to see a big movie like that we would go see, like Black Adam, and they trash it. And it's kind of like, do you really trust their opinions? No, you trust movie fans' opinions, right? The tendency with these people are that they are journalist graduates, so they specialized in writing, and they just get an assignment. Okay, go write movie reviews because you have a journalism degree. They don't really like movies. They just have a journalism degree, and they use it as a stepping stone to progress in their field. You can recognize that. You see that. That's why you get lists like this. It's kind of like, what the heck is this? Saint Omner. Never even heard of it. Now, I know I'm being a little bit crass about this, but yeah, I wanted to look at these lists because I want to make a point here. These lists, does this mean anything to the casual fan? Well, it definitely doesn't mean anything to the casual fans, but I consider myself a hardcore movie fan, and I never even heard about some of these ones. So it's kind of like, as we start to put together our best and worst lists of the year, it's good to look at other people's lists to see what they're talking about, what's resonating with them, and trying to get a measure on what's kind of happening here too. Syrup Sailor in the live chat says the irrational response to the Gunn reboot is insane. Yeah. The whole change.org petition kind of thing. When you get to that level, guys, you've just gone a little bit too far, right? And then the whole fire Gunn, James Gunn hashtag kind of thing. It's not going to ever do anything. The studio hasn't profited significantly since 2018. Continuing the DCU would risk bankruptcy. Yeah. Because nobody, and the point was well made that nobody went out to see Black Adam. I had fun with Black Adam, and I don't think Shazam: Fury of the Gods is going to do good either. I think it's going to probably even do less than Black Adam. So it does make sense to move on. It does. It sucks. Warner Brothers collaborated with another studio on Joker, so they didn't even capitalize financially on their own biggest cash cow, which is Joker. It was just the characters, right? But that's a character movie. That's a whole, it's, yeah, it is. Syrup Sailor, you're making some good points there in the live chat, for sure. One final story here before we get into the Reddit roundup. I want to make this point too. Talking about, because we talked about Rings of Power and stuff like that. And I'm going to be doing my favorite series of the year list too. Top 10 best TV shows of 2022. It's important for me to establish this with my fan base here on this channel, guys. When they do these kinds of lists, Reservation Dogs here. I hear good things. I want to see that. But then when you look at the major lists, it's kind of like AMC, Better Call Saul. It shows that are on normal cable television, like the U.S. and the Holocaust, PBS, Better Things on FX. I don't watch a lot of cable television. And if I watch cable television, I watch sports. I watch baseball, I watch hockey, and I watch American football, the NFL, with the occasional women's curling event for personal reasons. But that's what I'll watch on TV. I watch Blue Jays and I watch Maple Leafs because I'm in Maple Leaf country. There you go. I rarely watch a TV show. I watch Survivor on occasion, and I watch Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. But I don't make a point to watch anything too much more on cable television. So my list is going to be like Rings of Power, House of the Dragon kind of thing. That's what my lists are going to look like for that. All right. Let me just refresh my YouTube page to see if any trailers have dropped. And I think we pretty much rounded out the show for today. And we'll talk about, we'll just take a quick look at the, no, there's nothing there. Let's take a look at the old Reddit Roundup, see if we missed any headlines, if any new posters have dropped. And there has. An official poster for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has dropped. Okay. You guys like that poster? We saw the teaser for it last week, guys. Go check that out on the channel. We watched that. Which terrible movie somehow got nominated for Best Picture? Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, that's a little bit of peril of doing the Reddit Roundup as opposed to the Twitter Roundup. You get opinion pieces in there. But a new image from Evil Dead Rise. Ooh, I'm going to have to save that for... Well, actually, we're not doing a horror weekly this week, so maybe we'll just take a look at that now. Evil Dead Rise, I'm looking forward to. An Evil Dead movie taking place in a condominium complex. Fascinating. Okay, best trilogy ever made. Yeah, you get lots of these kinds of things. New posts. All right, let's take a look at these new posts. See if anything else has dropped. How Guillermo del Toro created the intricate stop motion for Pinocchio. Guys, we watched Pinocchio on the channel. We did a full live watch along. That's going to be in my top 10 of the year for sure, too, because of the visuals. If Avatar 2 gets in my top 10 because of visuals, so does Pinocchio. And it's heartbreaking. Oh, God, towards the end. When Geppetto comes to the realization of something in that movie. It's Armageddon. What is this? Trailer for 2025 Armageddon, the Asylum movie. Multiverse of Monsters. Huh. Maybe we'll have to check that out. New poster for Magic Mike's Last Dance. I actually like the trailer for Magic Mike Last Dance. How it was kind of like Selma Hayek hires him to put on a show there in Paris, right? Very sensual. And I'm looking forward to seeing that movie, oddly enough, even though I never saw Magic Mike 1 or 2. Okay, so some praise there for Daniel Day-Lewis. I think we hit everything today, guys. Sounds like we did. And if we did, it's a 24-hour news cycle. That's the way that it is on this channel for sure. So, guys, just in an hour, we will be watching The Samaritan here on the channel. Full live watch-along. Sylvester Stallone playing an aged superhero that is kind of a little bit like Hancock, I think. Well, I don't know. We'll check it out for sure. What else is coming up? We'll be watching tomorrow. We'll be watching Where the Crawdads Sing. So I'm looking forward to that. And then on Thursday, we'll be watching Kelly Cuoco in a rom-com called Meet Cute, where she uses a tanning bed as a time machine. Oddly enough. Yeah. I'll be checking that out. And then on Friday, we'll be watching Glass Onion, guys. I can't wait to share that movie with you. I went out and saw the theater last month, and that's going to be ending up on my top movies of the year list. It's probably going to be in the top 3, guys. We're going to have so much fun. I'm going to maybe have some popcorn on that day and just enjoy it with you guys because, oh, God, it's phenomenal. You'll have a lot of fun. Throughout the movie, you're just going to have like this big smile on your face. Glass Onion. So look forward to that, guys, here on Mirror Domains. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if not, I'll see you guys in about an hour to watch The Samaritan. Hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.